All right, so we're here at a job site. It's not my job site, just to make this perfectly clear. It's not my project. This is a friend's project, but we're doing helping them out doing a framing review. So we got some two different colors of spray paint. We're gonna mix those up. We're gonna make some markings. White just means it's like either good to go, but suggestions, and some things that are questionable. And then red means fix or bad or mistake. So you want to avoid the red as much as you can. And I got a measuring tape and the pencil to walk through and identify it. We're going to do a walkthrough. I'm going to make it part of the video. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. It's a beautiful sunny day. Love being in Seattle in the summer. And go and do a framing walkthrough. So you do have these massive deck here, which I love. You also have another deck extending along this way. But my thing was, hey, listen, in order to maximize everything, we really need to take this deck and expand it like 3 to 4 more feet more out to really make it usable and functional, and you can walk back and forth, and have an accordion style door here, and replace 3 of those windows and do an install, or either like 2 or 3 giant sliding doors or accordion style door to take advantage of the views, which the views, let me show you that. You get the views of the water from here, sort of. It's not bad. And so it's pretty nice. And again, you have a nice little water feature, another lower tier deck here, and a water feature and fireplace and stuff like that over here. And so it's really, really, really cool. It's very zen. It's very peaceful. I want to turn it into like a Japanese garden type thing, make like a zen garden, do some sand, do some I could throw some koi fish in there. I think that's what I would do. The theme for this house would be Japanese themed. Zen garden, baby. Let's go. All right, so we're downstairs, checking out the basement or the downstairs. Look at all these windows they put in, some fresh carpet, but we got some great plans, some ideas. They have a little interesting secondary kitchen here. And, I was like, I think there's not a lot of functionality with this tiny, tiny little kitchen. So why not just turn it into like a beverage bar, wet bar, put a display where the cabinets are, maybe put some taps in and some, a giant wine refrigerator and maybe a kegerator or something like that. Because then you have a sliding glass door to the outside. And here I was thinking you could do like almost like a zen garden with some sand and designs and some big square walking stones. And so there's a lot of cool things that you could do with this house. But it's obviously got to make sure that all the numbers make sense, right? So let's continue exploring, and I'll continue to share. All right, so checking out the kitchen. It's a smaller size, but it definitely we could do some things here. We work some magic, and I think it's good enough. We could open up some walls and expand it a little bit. I think it would get the job done. And then over here, again, we have these windows. I'd replace basically this window, and this window, and do an accordion style door, and then push out the decks another 3 or 4 feet, and really take advantage of the views and nature and everything. I think doing the whole Japanese theme Zen garden was really, really cool. So we stumbled upon this giant open space, which is very echoey, and it's got tile on the floor. It's got some plumbing in the walls. We thought about opening up the walls. Can't do that. You got plumbing, you got HVAC, you got electrical. You got a lot of stuff going on in this wall, so you can't do anything. Now my thought was, okay, well, what if we put down carpet here? We block out that window, and we do a tiered platform here, and set it a few feet back, and then basically go from there all the way to there. Obviously remove the little stove there, and basically do a 3-tier platform and put chairs or couches on each level with like stairs going up, and then put a screen covering this whole wall with a projector mounted and some speakers for surround sound, and some speakers back on this side too. So you have surround sound, and you have a movie theater with a giant projector, and then tiered steps. It's nice and cool in here. Put some sound panels in the walls, sound dampening panels. And then again, we have a pretty standard bathroom here that would be remodeling. And then weird, I don't know what their obsession was with furnaces, but there's that. I don't know why they have a wood-burning furnace in that room that's supposed to be a bedroom, but whatever. I do like these stairs, though. These stairs are cool, and we can make them like floating stairs or something like that as well. So there's some potential. All right, so I'm a little bit sweaty, a little out of breath. I've been running for an hour, about to finish a 10K, so 6.2 miles. I got some Martin gel and an Alter Ego hat, Garmin watch. So Alter Ego ambassador, let's go. If you guys want sunglasses, hats, running clothes, hit me up. But anyways, just taking a quick break to hydrate and take some of the gel. I struggle running and trying to eat gels at the same time. So, but getting about time. So got about a little bit less than a half mile to finish the 10K. Do 6.2 miles. So let's knock it out, baby. Let's go. Whew, phone dropped. All right, I'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, so let's look to see if we can find a home that's in King County, Washington, in the greater Seattle area for less than $350,000. So kind of looking at some of these options, browsing around, clicking around. All right, let's look at this one. So this one is a condo or townhome, sorry. It's in Bellevue, $350,000, 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, 987 square feet. Look at the floor plan. It's a townhome. Okay, here's how much the monthly payment's going to be. There's the down payment's 5%. Today's rates, there's the price. So with 5% down only, it shows you the payment. And then let's go over the schools and taxes. Here's the schools. So pretty good, very good schools. You know, good value. I think you negotiate on seller credits or a price, then that's one really solid option. Here's another one in Bellevue, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 900 square feet. Again, really good sized condo, townhome with a garage. Okay, you got a townhome with a garage, you know, about 25 years old. Here's your monthly payment. Here's your down payment is 5%. So 5% of $350,000, ladies and gentlemen. So 10% would be $35,000. So half of that. There you go. All right, so if you're an investor and you're looking for ways to kind of save money on contractors, then here's some tips of how to grease the wheels, if you will, with some oil with the subcontractors in order to potentially, not always, but potentially get a better deal. Number 1, be kind to them. Okay, it's very important that you're nice and friendly to them. Number 2, make sure you know what you want and you clearly identify the scope of work before they start and make it very clear to them. And number 3, give the option to pay them in cash. Not all contractors, but some really like being paid in cash for obvious reasons. I'm not going to go over. But if you pay them in cash, they'd be willing to give you a little bit of a discount and on the price. Also, if you say, hey, if you do a good job, I'm going to not only leave you a review, but I'm also going to refer you to other people if you do a good job. You hook me up, you take care of me, I'm going to take care of you. So what do? You're kind, you know exactly what you want, and you don't change your mind, you don't change the material, you don't change the scope of work, okay? You offer to pay them in cash as soon as the job is done, assuming they do a good job. You offer to leave them a good review if they do a good job, and you offer to refer them business. So these are 5 ways of how you, as an investor, can get a better deal with your subcontractors for your project. The more you know. All right, so how do you turn a massive scope of work for a house, like let's say you're remodeling a house or you're building a house or you're doing a development project, how do you turn a huge project, and maybe something overwhelming, into little bites that are easily digestible and easy to comprehend and easy to work through? So with your little bite, you break it down into timelines usually, and you say, okay, well, first I'm going to be demo. So then you break down the scope of work for your demo. What am I demoing? How much is it going to cost? What do I need? How, get in that understanding. What contractor you're using? What all am I demoing? Right? Then you go into, okay, well, what am I replacing now? Okay, then you go, okay, well, what's next in the phase? As soon as everything's done, well, what's the next phase? So then you go next phase 2, right? Oh, now we're going to be rebuilding. We're going to be doing some plumbing and electrical. All the drywall's off, demo's done. Let's do plumbing and electrical. Okay, HVAC too. Then that's the next little bite. So you get that done. You figure out what you want, what you need, how much it's going to cost, and you do it. Then you're done with that. Okay, well, now we're going to put the drywall and metal tape back up. Boom. So then you figure out all those costs and timelines, budget, and where it's all going. You do that. Next, you'll be like, okay, well, now we're going to do the bathroom. Now you tackle the bathroom. Next, you're going to be like, okay, well, now we're going to tackle the kitchen. Okay, you tackle the kitchen. This is not all necessarily in this order, by the way. But my point is, you break it into small little chunks according to a timeline and a schedule, and just chunk, little bites, and you just do it all the way through, one little bite at a time, until you're finished with the whole project.